My name is Corey Thompson. Born in Texas, I worked in the oil field for 13 years before I got laid off. I started flipping one house at a time, doing work myself. Trust me, I learned all the hard ways. I built Roughneck Real Estate with my besties, and now we do hundreds of deals. I got on YouTube because I wanted to teach the men that built this country with their bare hands how to own something that works for them. This is the Roughneck Real Estate channel, and today we're going to be talking about John Jacobus' life and business.
Let's do it.
The person that's going to be on camera is going to be, you know what I mean? Like you can put the absolute shittiest human being on planet Earth that hasn't done a fucking thing with their life on camera, and they can act it out and they can fake it for this long.
Right.
Eventually, you got to go deep. And if you don't have the fucking skins on the walls, you can't go fucking deep. If all we ever did every single day was bust out the GoPro, true or false, we could hand that footage to anybody and get all that content on the internet, and eventually somebody's going to like what the fuck they see.
Well, that's kind of my point in a way, is like, does it have to be polished?
I've never been of the opinion that it needs to be perfect or polished, but it needs to be consistent.
Yeah, and it needs to be good content.
It needs to be good.
Like, think about Nick. It was good content. It wasn't perfectly edited. He misspelled words in it, but it was good. It was like, oh, this is something I could watch.
Yeah, he put a lot of work into it. Put some music along with it, and for the price of what Nick cost, with the equipment we were rolling with, it did its job.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with one video a day, right? So
yeah,
if I was filming,
that's the big part of it, is like,
if I chose to turn the camera on that day and I shot a day's worth of content, you better get it chopped up. You better get it from the long form to the shorter form to the shortest form and get it all on the internet, because that's your job. That's what you do all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And ultimately Nick quit, but Nick didn't understand that concept. He wasn't going to edit the short videos. He wasn't going to do the things. He wasn't going to do any of that sort of stuff. And the short form content, I mean, I'm telling you right now, if you could do 20 short form videos, you never know which one's going to actually take off.
Yeah.
The one that took off yesterday, they're roasting me because I pointed into the abyss. They're like, yells at us incoherently about nonsense, points into the abyss. That's every comment. Every comment is them saying, look, it's Alex Jones' fucking son.
That's good, though.
That's
really good.
You know what I mean?
I never thought that, but you kind of look like Alex Jones.
So it's that content in and of itself, you know what I mean, is what did good yesterday. And if any of us would have watched it before it went to the internet, we'd have fucking threw it on the ground.
Yeah.
We'd have said, oh, we're not putting that on the internet. Get it the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And that's the trick of content. We don't get to decide what's good content. The people who consume it and roast us about it are the ones that get to decide what good content is.
Yeah.
And you can, the only thing we can control is how frequent we post and what the quality is. Is the sound good? Is the cameras good?
Right.
You know what I mean? Can we get better at articulating our stances? We can get better. But do you think doing less is ever the answer?
I don't think so.
I don't, it's like, I don't want to be a 2 video a month guy.
Yeah.
I either want to be a fucking 150 video a month guy or a 0 video a month guy.
But there's a balance to that, right? Isn't there a balance to where it's like, okay, yeah, I want to be this, but I can't be sitting in this chair doing 150 videos, because I've got to be out and about. I've got to be doing stuff. I've got to be managing the team. I've got to be doing all that stuff.
So you hire somebody to do it.
Yeah.
And you get marginally better. You tweak what you can. For the first time since I've started producing content, watch our content. I listen to it. I listen to the way I articulate words. Even from saying have now versus got.
It's improvement.
It's an improvement. It's a marginal improvement that only I'll notice.
Yeah.
But it's something that whenever I listen to it, I'm like, I'm going to say have instead of got. I'm going to make it that habit. I'm going to say it to my daughter. I'm going to say it to baby mama number 2. I'm going to say it to everybody.
Yeah.
Have is now my word. I'm getting rid of got.
Yeah.
And getting marginally better and being uber consistent with it. paying my money every month to get my content on the internet, meeting with the people, putting in the work on whiteboarding it out, but not pulling back the reins, not trying to game an algorithm. If you want to put it on 47 different channels because you think we're putting out too much, I'm like, the only thing I know is Gary Vee and Grant Cardone dominate my news feed.
Yeah.
They dominate my news
Because
feed.
they're putting out a ton of stuff.
I might see a 3-day-old video, but by God, I saw it. You know what I mean? The people that post, there's people complaining about how much they see us on the internet. Like, they're like, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good thing.
Like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
I see you
What's
everywhere.
that old bald guy that he was everywhere the past 2 months? Now he's kicked off TikTok.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate, yeah.
That dude.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
A lot of content.
A lot of content.
It's like same
The
with
crazy-
the ads.
Yeah. Crazy thing though is like he didn't have a TikTok, right? He was just on everybody else's stuff.
He was on everybody else's.
That's what y'all need to do too. Is
Well,
get on other people's stuff.
The repost.
Well, he built that. And that's...
Yeah, I know he built it, but like he built it by going out and doing a bunch of stuff too.
No. It's even better than that. He taught a course
Yeah,
on social media, and the course work was taking long form video of him and turning it into short form video.
He was getting paid $50 a person a month
For them to pass his course of
Right.
putting out more videos of him.
Right.
What if Ryan's dude's plan was just to get you heated and come in here and make amazing content? Because that's what's happening.
That's probably he
go.
won't see it that way.
Hey, that's a genius right there. Then
I mean,
a good point.
he's a nice enough guy. He if we whiteboard something, if we're going to take time to whiteboard something in here, so we're going to plan it out in here, right? And he's like, let's go in the studio and cut it. Do you think I'm better in this studio or better in a house?
If you're just like spitball, like you're good the first time that you start throwing it out is your best, I feel like.
And he sees it up front in person. When we go, if I'm in a studio, we're going to get 1-2 takes. It's not going to get better with time.
right.
I'm just going to get more frustrated, more down.
right.
But if I'm in the house, if I'm in the house and we're in a 1930s build house that was remodeled in 1960, you know how I know that?
No.
It's got sheetrock
Oh, okay.
and paneling. So they put up sheetrock and then they put paneling over it.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
So this
what
house,
I mean, help me out, educate me on this, and then I want to get back to what we're talking
Yeah.
about. 1930s, what they use?
in 1930s they had shiplap.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
it had
yeah,
the shiplap, and then they would put like wallpaper, like a type of
Mm-hmm.
paper. Sometimes it was just newspaper.
Yeah.
And they put that over it, and that was it. That was all you had.
Yeah.
And they would put shredded up newspaper in the walls for insulation if it had insulation.
Hmm.
So we go into a house, and that's the existence of the house, and we're remodeling it. We're spending, I don't know, 50, 60 grand remodeling this house.
Yeah.
And when we show up that day, we can rip and spit about a 1930s build that was remodeled last time in the 60s. We can see that because of the 60s, 70s,
Right.
because of the sheetrock and the paneling.
Yeah.
And then, what we're doing to it today, we're jacked it up. We took it off of Bodock stumps and put concrete under it.
But ultimately, what you're saying is you're better when you're walking through that, talking about it, riffing on it first time. You put stuff on the whiteboard, and you're like, all right, I'm going to talk about this, but then it's going to...
If you stood here right now and made me whiteboard that, right? It would be the labor pains of whiteboarding it out into perfection it would bother me.
Well, then why don't you just get in front of a damn microphone and just start talking? And then, yeah, this sucks, but then it's somebody else's job just to be like, okay, you talked about this for 2 minutes, talked about this, you chop it all up, and then that's your short form content.
Well, and that's what we did. So last week, Paul, what day was Paul there?
Wednesday, I think.
No, it was after
Friday?
that. Maybe
Thursday.
Thursday.
And I was
don't know.
exhausted.
Yeah.
I'd driven 600 miles.
Yeah, you drive too much anyways.
I'd done bandit signs 2 nights in a row, and I actually couldn't make it home the night before and had to pull over and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I slept.
Corey Thompson, human.
Yeah. So I slept and was actually ran out of, I had clean underwear and socks, but I didn't have any other clean clothes. So I was, and I knew content was coming. I was like, just go down there and get some B-roll footage with Braxton and them, get on some calls. And then when we get there, we'll figure out what we're going to do. What they're saying is have that day planned ahead of time.
Yeah.
So we whiteboard that out, and then we go do it. And I love that. I love having a plan. Like, let's attack these things. These are the videos that, the how-to, the what this, all that great information. And let's just go spit it. And let's put out 70 of these motherfuckers this month because we can do 40 in a day.
Right.
The editing can't keep up, and that's fine. That's understandable.
Is that what he's saying?
No. What I'm saying is the editing, like the let's get to the, what's it called? The bottleneck. Let's find the bottleneck. And if the bottleneck is the editing, let's air it out. We don't have to go hire more editors.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it. But if that's why we can't get more video out, that's why we can't get more video out.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough editing. Let's not pull it back to where, we're no longer flooding the market with content, because you as much as we'd like to pick what's going to work, we ain't going to get to pick it.
Yeah.
The market's going to decide. The market decides every single time. If it decides to show it. Now, some of the other stuff that he's going over about posting on Reddit and doing these sorts of things will boost you up. But I've seen over and over again on the SEO side of things. Do you have a website?
I do. It's horrible.
But do you know what boosts you on SEO?
Backlinks. I don't know.
Backlinks and blogging. Like just taking this conversation about real estate. Like, let's say we're talking about real estate the whole time.
Yeah.
And they turn it over to something. I don't know if it's a software program, whatever it is, but it turns it into words.
I would transcribe it. Yeah.
Gets edited and gets uploaded as a blog.
Yeah.
So it's just more words on your website. It just says real estate on your website 40 more times.
Right.
And so now when people Google real estate, your website has, that's why Bigger Pockets comes up first on any sort of investment strategy. It's got owner finance written the most.
A billion times.
A billion times.
Never even thought about that, but that makes sense.
Because that word is on the website that many times. That's how you win at SEO. And everybody that's ever done lead gen on the internet for real estate knows that's how you beat SEO.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You blog.
Yeah.
The videos are more, they're easier to consume. You know what I mean? But to get them to your videos, you got to have them on your website.
Well, and you can almost embed the video in the blog.
No, you can. That's what I'm saying. But to get them to the videos, like when they Google something, if you want to be first on Google, if you want your video to be first, it's got to be tied to the word.
I was asking him earlier about y'all's biggest lead generator, and he said like mailers. And but y'all also do online stuff. Obviously, this is what y'all are wanting to do. Or this is what is being done right now. Are you wanting to do it to where it's flip-flop, to where you're not sending as much mail out? Because like that's the stuff that takes a ton of time, and I'm just trying to work through all this stuff myself, so I'm not preaching at all, but it takes a ton of time to do all that stuff, to blog, to video, to edit, to upload, especially if you're writing the blogs as well. And then you're supposed to go out and drive halfway across Texas and then talk to all these people. And so how do you get all of that stuff done? And do you stop the mailers or limit that, or because you're a shotgun guy?
No,
are you more precise?
It's not. You're looking at a bunch of different businesses. So the content part of the business isn't about buying a house. We don't want to buy a house off of content.
Right.
The content part of the business. What's your credit score right now?
Mine.
Yeah.
754.
So the content part of the business
754 somewhere
is to find a 754 credit score guy that can buy a rental. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Hold on, my eye's itching pretty bad. It's got me. I do not care about trying to buy a distressed seller's house. I think my eye's really messed up now. Braxton, do you care about buying a distressed seller's house?
I would like to.
But do you care about doing it off content, off the internet?
It serves a different purpose.
Yeah.
So here we want to find the person that's curious, that doesn't have the banking relationship, that doesn't have the property management experience, that doesn't have the different experiences in real estate that we have. We want them to be looking for answers on the internet, a very small group of people, looking for answers on the internet, and find us, okay? The other thing we want to do with the content is the blue-collar guys that I used to work with, I want them to stumble across it by accident and go, what did this guy used to do? Now, one thing the dude did bring up with the story. See, it's you know Cross Canadian Ragweed, right? Mm-hmm. You ever heard Cody Canada talk about a song?
No.
Well, Cody Canada once said at a concert, He said, be careful for all you aspiring songwriters out there. Be careful what song you write, because you just might have to sing it every day for the rest of your fucking life.
What's that one? What's their like one of their biggest songs? It's like
Boys from Oklahoma.
Boys from Oklahoma. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but he was talking about Carney Man,
Okay.
because everybody wanted him to sing Carney Man at this particular concert. And that is telling your story on the internet. You got to tell the one thing he is right about. The people that stumble across don't know that I used to be a drilling consultant.
Right.
They don't know that I was laid off 7 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't know that we've learned everything the hard way. You know what I mean? They just see good lighting, good cameras, fat dude sitting there talking about nothing that they understand.
Right.
You get what I mean? So you've got to tell that story every single day. You've got to remind people every single day. And it's I mean, could you imagine saying that every day? I'm laid off, single dad, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Slept in an RV. It's that old him haul shit. And I hate the him haul shit, but he is correct. When the roughneck that's working in Midland, Odessa, that doesn't want to be out there anymore, that's looking for another way to make money, is in his spare time cruising YouTube, he needs to find the drilling consultant that is no longer working in the oil field.
Sounds like he said a lot of good things.
Who? Homie?
That guy. Yeah.
No, he did, but then he said do an hour and a half of content a month, and I was like, for what?
That's what got you fired up.
Well, I was just
Everything
like,
else, it sounds like, oh, yeah.
we mapped out one video, and I was like, dude, I can. That's one video I can do 40 times, because there's 40 different nuances to this video.
Yeah.
This is one format: who we are, what we're trying to do, 3 tips for not making, 3 mistakes we wish we didn't make, 3 tips to be better at this, 3 things I wish I knew when I got started. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a format that we can rip,
Yeah.
and we can do 40 of them in one day.
Yeah, right.
Just boom. I mean, and they can get them produced, and we can get them on the internet. And he's like, you can't put them on the internet. You got to do this. You got to do that. We're going to cut it down. You know, look at the biggest in the world. They only do 1 or 2 videos a month. And I'm like, that will not be me.
Yeah, right.
There's no way in hell. It's not. We will make better content, and we will post it a lot. And if YouTube never rewards us for it, we will put money in YouTube's pocket to reward us. We will buy our way into the next level, because what we're trying to do isn't even the same. If YouTube paid, what amount of money could YouTube pay you in a year for you to just sit around and think up new content and roll it out?
Overhead plus whatever I want. I mean,
No, but how much money is that?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be the cost of the studio plus.
Yeah, but I mean, but I'm talking about just a job. Your job.
Like what you would make.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be a lot for me.
what would you make?
honestly, but-
Oh, if that was my whole job. I don't. It's just not interesting enough to me.
It's not interesting enough to me either.
Yeah.
It's just like you say you're going to pay me $1 million a year, $1 million a year, and I've got to sit around and map out and plan and do this and do that to show up and do little goofy videos on the internet. Yeah. Probably not. You know what I mean?
You can get me for $1 million.
You can get you for $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like-
Absolutely.
A month into that, it's just you're like, oh, I know I got this.
Dude, but the
Good million,
like, but it's the opportunities there are endless. The videos that you can make are endless. Like, you can make videos on the same stuff you're making videos on now. Like,
Unless it doesn't work.
well, but you're saying like they're going to pay you $1 million for this. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like you get what I mean? Like, I get to live my life now and video it and put it on the internet, and if it works, it works.
right?
Or
Oh, you're saying that I can't be doing other stuff.
or I have to go get the $1 million to dance the dance that YouTube wants me to dance.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
to be on a Puppet Master. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay. They care about this now. I'm going to go make content on that. They care about this now. I'm going to go make content on that. Fuck that.
I do think I've talked with our mutual friend Cody a lot about this. I think that of all of our people that we know, you would be the guy to do that. Like not to be the puppet master or the puppet, but to be able to crack that code. I do think if you're honed in and it's like your rough blade is sharpened, I feel like you could slay.
And we'll do that. We will do that. If they came to us tomorrow and they said, "Hey, we got this TV show, right? It's going to be a house flipping TV show, and we want you to tone this back and do this different and do that different, right? Knowing that there's probably no money in it at the front side, knowing it probably cost you money. It's like a hunting show.
Yeah,
We got friends back home that have a hunting show. Have you ever heard Pigman? So that Pigman shot a bow 130 yards. So he could shoot a bow 130 yards, and I think it was YouTube. He put a video of him shooting a bow 130 yards, and somebody found it, came hunting with him on his little ranch, and they said, hey, you should do a hunting show. We can plug you in with the Sportsman Network or whatever it is. And I'm going to butcher this story, so don't hold me to it. But essentially they were like, yeah, you can do a hunting show. Here's what it's going to cost you.
Right.
And you can have a hunting show. And so he went to a couple of the guys in town that were friends. They like we're all high school buddies, and say, hey, look, we can go do this hunting show. We just got to come up with this money. And so they came up with the money, and he's got a hunting show. And 10 years later, it's probably paying pretty good. But the first 4 years,
yeah, he was paying it.
He was paying it out the ass and having to go pay for the hunts and having to go get the sponsors. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't make money at the beginning, and that's the way a TV show would be. So it's like, now I got to go compromise who I am to make less money.
Yeah.
Well,
but do you think that you would be more publicized? And I'm saying you, but I mean,
yeah,
all y'all. Do you think that you would be more publicized or more pushed by these social medias if you weren't riding that line all the time of strippers, hookers, this, all that, like saying some of the jokes that you make?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was in a mastermind a year ago. Yeah, no, it was this last summer, and a guy quit his entrepreneur business to go be a comedian.
Yeah.
And I mean, well, his entrepreneur business paid him well enough that he could quit being an entrepreneur to go be a comedian. But he said that 8 billion people on earth wanted to be entertained. Only a handful of people gave a fuck about his tax advice.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was out of there. He said, as soon as I realized I could go do this and entertain people, because 8 billion people on planet Earth want to be entertained.
Yeah. But I think you can entertain, and I like hearing those stories, but I think you could entertain and leave some of those out.
We can. No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm not talking about that. I'm saying what's a good value that we could put on it? Are
you talking about dollars or what?
Okay, so we need you to do this particular way. Like, have you read? Do you read any books? Have you read anything lately?
Occasionally, I get about halfway through and then I fall off. But
go read any book by Chip Gaines.
Okay,
that's
Joanna and Chip Gaines. Okay.
Chip Gaines. I think Capital Gains was he talked about in there. They're real quick, easy listens. And Chip Gaines talks about they were having problems, and one of their core businesses, they were shipping. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Like some sort of I think it was candles or something. I don't know. Whatever it was. They had their online system when they first rolled it out wasn't working correctly.
Yeah.
And so the orders were coming in, but they weren't getting shipped out on time. And somebody tweeted at him at 2 a.m. and the order wasn't fulfilled properly, and they'd been waiting on it. And he got the tweet, and it made him quit doing the show. Did you know that?
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So he got the tweet, and the next day he had to be on set. And he knew they were having shipping problems, shipping out whatever merchandise it was, whatever it was. And he wanted to be down there working on the merchandise, shipping issues in the business, but he couldn't because he had to make a showtime, and it was being produced. And on one side of it, he knew they were so immensely blessed from the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But on the other side of it, he knew, I've got a business that I'm involved with that I can't give my full attention to, that I can't go solve these problems because I've got a filming schedule.
Yeah.
And the filming schedule, they were doing 21 episodes a year at that point in time. Do you know what 21 episodes? Could you imagine doing 21 episodes?
Of those type episodes? No. That'd
like
be
flips. 21 sim ops projects essentially. Because I mean,
you
what do you
gotta
think?
see the flip happen in one episode,
Yes.
or 2 episodes, or something.
No, one episode.
One episode, yeah.
So each episode is a whole new flip.
A whole new flip. So you got 21 separate flips.
So you basically, at the best, you've got about 60 to 90 days.
What? But
That like the timeline of the deal that you've got to.
And they're overlapping.
But you've got a
sure.
whole
They're
bunch of them
overlapping.
all at the same time. Like that seems stressful.
I mean, how many design phases? And so you come in and you're in the design phase and you shoot it once, and they say, "Oh no, we didn't have the mics right. We need you to do that again." Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll just do that again.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean? You got 21 different families that you're working with their expectations. You got 21 different stories that you're going to tell in that episode. You've got 21 different designs, materials, labor, contractors, everything that has to be perfect, right? Now, at the beginning, they didn't have that kind of schedule. You know what I mean? Like they probably did a 6-episode pilot, 10-episode pilot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it just slowly snowballed and got to a point where it's like, hey, this is a full-time job
Yeah.
that I would prefer to scale back. So they got to the end of that contract and they said, hey, look, we're going to go do our thing with our family. And I think Joanne got really into the cooking. So she did her own cooking show.
I think I do think she has that now.
Yeah, so she was like, I got a nice kitchen, I've got a restaurant, I'll do the cooking thing. And then they started their own network. But when they started their own network, they got more control over, what is the content.
Yeah.
And the content isn't just them going and flipping a house.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's her cooking, it's
Right.
the different things. I couldn't imagine sacrificing, you know what I mean, at the beginning, what they got to sacrifice to
An
do.
indefinable amount of time as well.
Do what?
Like you don't know how long that takes.
Yeah.
Before you have that foundation.
And whether or not it's received well or not, you know what I mean. And then you get out there, and then they find out about, we all find out about a baby mama in Arkansas all at the same time. You know what I mean? She just shows up. I got a 17-year-old. I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
howdy, son.
Chip's got one?
No, I'm talking about me.
Oh.
Like, what if my baby mama in Arkansas showed up tomorrow? Like, just bang,
A couple of them might all come at the same time.
all at the same time.
That'd be rough.
And
They
then
might
they're
have a
like,
group chat just waiting for the day that you really blow up. And
I
then
was
it's
about to
like,
say, like, yeah,
there's going to be like 15.
they think Corey's got hit it big already, but really it's. There we
So-
go.
yeah, put a little mic condom on there. You're being disgusting right now, Braxton. So, anyways, when but that comes out, and then it's like, oh, we were doing so good, now we're canceled because we got one baby mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be tough. Are we supposed to be talking about these right here?
We can talk about anything you want. This is a podcast.
Let's hit some of these real quick.
Let's hit some of these. We can we'll go into real estate. We'll take this off of life. That's episode 1 right there. Clap, clap. Edit that. I thought Spoon was going to come back up. How long does it take to close one shitty owner finance?
Really quick, can y'all see me?
I
Yes.
can, yeah, that's perfect, man. Looking good.
I just want to say, Corey, like I think I disagree with the fact that you would get more of an audience or be more successful with more family-friendly content. What I know about content and being an influencer, or whatever, you got to be yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
And
I'm an asshole. I shouldn't
there's
have said
plenty of room for y'all mentioned Andrew Tate. He was the least, brand friendly, family friendly. He's gone now, so a bad example. But there's plenty of room for you're not even that bad, man.
No,
that. I don't think that he's that bad. I'm not saying that, and I consume a lot of stuff. My point ultimately is like the.
Well, John, we go way back.
We go way, yeah.
So you know the stories.
Yeah.
You were there for them.
For sure.
So you're like, if you tell that one, it could go south.
Well, I mean, and I'm not even talking about getting canceled and that sort of thing. I'm just talking about Gary Vee talks about all the time about getting his content pushed or suppressed because he drops the F-bomb, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, and
Right,
F-bombs are nothing compared to like some of the stuff like,
Yeah.
that we're
there's
talking
also
about.
definitely a different bar we're looking at when I know we're comparing a lot of the times to Gary Vee or Grant Cardone, which that's applicable. But there are plenty of what you were talking about. To what extent do you want to sacrifice yourself to that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
absolutely.
well, and it's how much time do you want to give to it, and at what point? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at what point would it be like I don't want, like, you know who watches most of my content?
Who's that?
Guess.
My mom.
Probably close. Yeah, definitely Sohail. But
I mean, I would say young aspiring investors.
no,
No.
Emery Thompson.
Oh yeah.
Emery Thompson watches 90% of my content.
Yeah.
She's a shithead to me whenever.
So you're saying it's family friendly enough for her? Is that
Well,
what you're saying?
no. People remind me of that,
Yeah.
right? People let me know because it's like we're at school or we had that Rangers game, the ball thing,
Yeah.
and she wanted to show her class at school. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So the teachers tell me about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, well.
Yeah. Probably.
I was like, there's gonna be some bad words in there.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's so Emery's really excited about it. And I was like, I almost was like, hey Ryan, can you put out the bleeped out version?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Can we blur the mouth?
But then there was some other smaller clips that they got to watch. But she wanted. It's a different thing. You know what I mean? For her and her generation, right? YouTube is what she watches.
Yeah. That's their TV.
It's their TV. It's Saturday morning cartoons like it was for us.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? She gets on there. Rebecca Zamala's her. You know what I mean? You don't know who that is.
Not yet. No.
You don't know who that is.
I'm sure I will. Is that how old's your daughter? How old is she?
She's 8.
8. Okay. Yeah.
It's a grown woman, 40-year-old grown woman with her friends acting out skits with who is it? The Dream Chaser, some one bad guy that they've never revealed who it is.
This is my daughter Zadie, and it's gonna be her first Halloween.
Oh, I
and
have seen this
I want her to know
girl.
that her mom can protect her from anything, which is why I set up booby traps all over the house on the entrances where the
crazy.
monsters will be coming in. They're here. See, we gotta put you upstairs so you can watch.
Oh man, she is.
You ready to watch Mom
intense.
take down some monsters?
But think about how hard this content was to make.
Enjoy.
Oh, all those cameras and
Dude.
editing. Oh,
Editing,
absolutely. Yeah.
Technically and like just soul crushing.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
They had to script this out. Like
Yeah.
they had to whiteboard this. This was some hard to make content. Like I can
sure.
appreciate the game.
Yeah.
But this is her favorite person. So we've watched a lot of this.
Yeah.
We've gone through a lot of
Yeah.
Rebecca Zamala storylines, but it's like every episode never ends. It's just next week.
Right,
It's just
right.
next day or next episode or whatever it is. And there's no telling. I mean, if you look at the analytics on their stuff, it's going to be through the
Are they? How many views does that have? I can't see. Is that
2 mil.
2 million.
And how many?
13 million.
13 million subscribers.
13 million subscribers, but
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of watch hours.
Yeah.
Every toy that Emery wants comes from an ad on YouTube.
Right.
And like
yeah.
the kids watch it over and over.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I know how my little daughter watches Elsa. I mean, we've seen Frozen 5 billion times.
That's
you know what
right.
I mean?
And so this is what she aspires to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
so
whenever
she's proud of her dad being on YouTube.
on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Like being on YouTube, she's so happy about it. She's so proud of it. She's so, you know what I mean?
y'all use Monday.com for is that what y'all use for?
No, that was Airtable. That's funny you said that. I suggested switching over to Monday this
I love
week.
it. I love it.
Oh, you got to talk to us about it because I think it'll help us.
Well, I use it as a CRM, but I could see how it would be hugely beneficial and time saving for you guys working through the process from like initial video taken to final edit and the processes and when it can be on place for, go from your desk to that person's desk. I mean,
Yeah,
I could see
I
that would
agree.
be huge on that.
All right. So we're going to cut content
Yeah.
here. We'll cut it here. Braxton hadn't been in the conversation.
Yeah. Let's do some real estate stuff.
We'll see how the real estate stuff looks.
What was her name, real quick? Rebecca Zamala.
Rebecca
I lost it.
Zamala. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Bracky. So you got, how many listings you got right now?
Just 3
Just 3. What's your average? What would,
on those 3.
no. So like, how many listings or deals did you close in 21?
27 deals.
27 deals.
Yeah. So not a lot, but
Well, it's not a lot, but I mean,
well, I mean, like, and so for some context, I mean, it's enough, but it's not enough all at the same time, right? Like, it's
dude, it's a load.
Well, I mean, it's
Real quick,
Yeah.
since we're starting this, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
let's-
absolutely.
Let's rip a little intro.
sorry. Yeah, I didn't even know for the first 30 minutes if we were.
Oh,
even,
yeah, I record everything.
record, talking or recording or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's the right way to do it.
They're always rolling.
Some of the best content is from like the podcast for sure.
So who are you, John?
So my name is John Jacobus. This is my camera right here.
Yeah,
my name
yeah.
is John Jacobus. I'm a real estate broker in Dallas, Texas. Been in real estate for, it'll be 16 years in January, and had a full-time job for 4 of that, but that wasn't real estate because I wasn't able to make it happen. But then got out of that, opened up my own brokerage in 2017, and we've got 6 agents now working for us, which is not a big number, but it's getting somewhere, which I like. And yeah, man, just grinding it out, selling some homes.
All right, John. While we're here at this moment, Braxton, have you ever heard me mention John Jacobus?
I have.
Okay. Have I ever told you how he exited his PE teacher job?
You have
God
not.
bless, man.
So what year was this?
2014, 2015, somewhere
So
around
how old were you in 2014, 2015?
there. So you would have been right in that. You would have been
7
7th
years
grade.
ago, 12.
Yeah, you would have been 6th grade, 7th grade.
Would he have been your student?
Yes.
All right, give it to him. Give it to him right now.
So a little backstory for those of people that don't know who I am, which I'm assuming is everybody. But so I played sports my entire life, very passionate. If there's one thing in my life that I am passionate about, besides business now, it is sports. To this day, baseball, basketball, football, love them all. Don't get to watch them as much because of Bally Sports not being on streaming, but hugely passionate about sports and practice sports. And like when I grew up and I was playing football, basketball, or baseball at all times with my brother. And so whenever I was coaching, so I was a PE teacher and coach for a few years. And Corey knows maybe a little bit about this, although like I'm a lot more chill now than I was. And I was very intense in my younger days and got kicked out of several games. I was just ultra competitive. That's just the way I was raised.
With 6th graders.
Well, here's the thing.
hold
So
on,
are you
hold on,
wanting me
hold on.
to go into that story?
Yeah, we're
now?
gonna get into that story. That's a phenomenal story. Braxton, have you ever heard Jacob's softball story?
No.
So college softball story. You never heard Jacob tell this story?
Is this when I was on the team?
Yeah.
Too? Oh,
Ja-
gosh, man.
They made Jacob play catcher. Could you see Jacob being
I
the?
know. I cannot.
Well, we sucked. That was for sure. We were
So-
horrible.
Jacob's like an assistant coach.
Yeah. So Jacob was playing catcher, and
My
he
bad
tried.
for just doing that in the mic, man. Sorry.
So Jacob's a catcher, and he tries to throw somebody out at second. Were you playing shortstop or second?
Honestly, I don't remember what story you're talking about.
Well,
So-
no, you don't, because it's not a big moment in your life. It was a huge moment in Jacob's life.
Okay.
So Jacob tries to throw the runner out mistakenly. We know that because there's a runner on third.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he tries to throw the runner out. You're playing shortstop.
Okay.
You come over and catch it, and immediately throw it back to him.
Yeah.
And so Jacob's just standing there thinking he did this great job, and all of a sudden the ball's coming at him, and he just puts his glove up, and it just smokes him in the glove, and he tags the runner out.
No joke.
No joke.
I don't remember that at all, but
You don't, but he tells the story religiously. It's his
I'm
one.
surprised because that's probably the only play we made that year because we got beat all the time.
Well, with Jacob playing catcher, I see why. But
No,
anyways,
stud,
so
absolute stud. So long story short, as in that, like, was always trying to like be better at sports and push myself to be better, and so practiced a lot, played a lot. Obviously, I got burned out a little bit too whenever I was in middle school with baseball. But whenever I'm leaving teach, I know that I'm leaving teach. I'm already told them I'm going to sell real estate and be done with that. And I was selling real estate the entire time, but.
why were you leaving teaching though?
Well, because I was going to sell real estate.
Yeah,
full
but-
time.
But yeah, but the teaching was a little. I mean, you didn't like teaching.
No, I did not like teaching. I hated teaching.
Why?
Well, are you asking? Are you leading me into the story? Or
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get some context because I mean, it's if you don't give it context,
Well, so like I wasn't a good teacher. I hated teaching. I taught English for 2 years, and was brutal at it. my kids had good test scores, but I just think I had some of the good kids. And then but they moved me over into PE and coaching. But I knew the principal, and he knew that I would like that. He also was trying to probably get me out of the English classroom. I hated the students, not because they were bad kids, but just because like I didn't want to be there really. And so I was doing this because I needed the money. And although towards the end I was making way more than anybody else in the school because I was selling real estate and teaching, and so I was making more than the principal, more than anybody in there. But I told the principal I was leaving already, and my athletes were dogging it, and we were jogging what we called like the fence or something like that, and they were jogging around this open field.
6th graders?
These were 8th graders.
Okay.
These were 8th graders, so they could handle it. They were 14 years old, very mature. And so, anyways, my blood's boiling because half of them are walking. I've been telling them the whole year, like, I'm done with the loafing. Pick it up. Let's go. Improve yourself. Be better. Like, y'all got this. And finally, I just like got real silent. I let them all walk in. I did the whole, it's so cheesy, but I did the whole, like, they all got into the locker room. They had no clue that I was frustrated because I just shut it down. But then I locked one door, and then I calmly walked to the other door. I locked that door, and then I proceeded to just wear them out. And at the end, I'm not even going to say it, but like I just called them all F and P's because like they were just frustrating me so bad. And it's bad. It's not my most shining moment, but it is one that, like, in a way, I'm like, I still wholehearitly agree with it because it's like they were
you saying that might have inspired them.
I don't think so. I think they just look at me like, and they probably laugh now at how upset I was about 8th grade football. But I knew one of the kids like outside of school. I was friends with their parents and friends with his parents, friends with his aunt and uncle. And it was bad, but I singled him out because I like knew him well, and he was one of the ones dogging it. And I said, "Hey, I know your family, I this, that, and the other, and you are that." And I just laid into him, and then it became this whole ordeal. And it was one thing where it was just, I mean, I went out with a bang for sure, but
that's a way of saying that.
Well, but it was one of those deals where it's just like somebody that's not giving their effort was driving me crazy, man. And so, needless to say, I got out of teaching because it was just not
early?
where I needed to be. No, I got no backlash from that.
I thought this whole time you got in trouble for it.
No.
So you just called all the kids fucking pussies, and
the principal and an assistant principal, who again I knew well, came down and talked to me and said, "Hey, we might get some backlash from this." And
I'm the same way.
Nobody ever said anything.
Dude.
I did call the mom of the kid that I knew and said, "Hey, this is what I just did." And she was like, "I agree with you." I was like, "Okay, well, there you go."
Well, my daughter, Emery,
I'm sure there's some good kids in there. That's why I feel bad about it. But.
You still talk to that kid?
No, I mean, him and like his mom were friends on Facebook.
He's older than him?
He is probably, I think he's just a little bit older than you. Yeah.
So
I think he's 20, 21.
Yeah. There you go. You'd reach out to him, see if he wants a job.
He might.
See if he's still loafing.
No, I don't think so. I think he's doing all right for himself.
Hey, if you were in that speech and see old John here.
What class was that? It was
they might all be billionaires by now.
Yeah, I know. Class 2015.
Or professional
Albanian, so what would
athletes.
that be? Class of 2019.
Yeah. So somewhere right now, there's a class of 2019 student that's like, the only reason why I was successful is because my 8th grade PE coach called me a pussy.
Maybe.
It's like 4 Olympians in there.
Yeah,
3 billionaires.
I highly doubt about the Olympian
2
part.
already running for office.
Maybe. I mean, who knows, man? I was probably a little too hard on them because they were 8th graders, and I know what I was doing as an 8th grader. But ultimately, I'm sure, like, I want to say a lot of them could have turned their life around and done some really good things. But I know for a fact that a lot of them, or not a lot of them, but there are multiple people in jail and stuff like that because they just didn't get the message that we were trying to send, all as coaches. And calling them that is not the way to send that message. But I do think that it, like, listen, and the way where I come from and maybe where you come from, and I doubt you came from this time frame, but whenever I was playing high school football, it was, you are the dumbest motherfucker
Every time.
I've ever met in my entire life. You got to look over here whenever I'm giving you signals. Like, if you don't, we're going to lose the game. Yada, yada, yada. You're so fucking smart, but you're so fucking stupid.
That's how most of my coaches were
Okay,
still
yeah.
too.
So like, that's how I was raised. And I would tell my very religious parents when I got home, this is what coach said to me. They're your coach.
That's right. Look, I watched it with Emery this season. She finally got a softball coach. That wasn't her friend.
Yeah.
That wasn't a step parent. That wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whose only job was to make them better. He had twin girls on the team, or they might have been twins. They're definitely in the same age bracket, but I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
he was hard on them, and he was just as hard on Emery and everybody else. And other parents were like, and I'm like, nope. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, and I think-
That's how you coach. No whining, no crying. Stay in the game. If they throw it at you, you wear it. This was
Yeah.
Emery's first. This fall ball was the first time they had, not coach pitch.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a completely different game. You go from, soft lob hits to 2-inning games because it's 7-run innings both time. They max out and it's over with because everybody's getting walked. So you very rarely get a pitch that you can hit,
Right.
but you get hit with pitches a lot.
all the time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I told Emery, I'm like, you just stand in the batter's box and you wear it. The only place you can move if it's going to hit you is your elbow.
Yeah.
If it's going to hit your elbow, duck into it. Don't get smoked on the elbow, but everywhere else you'll be just
Do you
fine.
think do you think that y'all are in a better spot or more driven because of how you were coached, how you were taught, maybe how your parents were with you or whatnot?
1,000%.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about that very first episode, like how much of an impact sports has.
Yeah.
Sports has a huge impact on your life.
Yeah.
It's very
I
underestimated.
think if you're
thing.
willing to accept it, right? Like if you're just going to go out there and you're doing it later in years and you're doing it to where you're just out there, then I don't think that it does. But like anything in life, right? Like if you're willing to accept the teaching, then it's going to help. But if you're going to
agree.
like push back, then.
Well, I didn't.
But I agree.
With coaching, the risk of pushing back was never worth the reward. In the classroom, pushing back on what they are trying to push on you was always worth the reward.
Right.
Right. Because it was more of an open debate, where coaching was a dictatorship.
For sure.
You know what I mean? This is your gap.
The one
gap.
worst dictatorship is band directors. High school
Man,
band.
I'll tell you what. That I saw that. I was like, my gosh, that's an intense time.
Yeah. So
Were you in band?
Especially at high school.
dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and so from a coaching point of view, like you're
Talk
right.
about discipline.
If you take coaching, you do well. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But if you're in the classroom just soaking it all in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll probably not do as well in life.
Yeah, I don't know how you raise Emery and what's your boy's name? Jasper. But that's my biggest. I feel like I'm going to be a softer parent than I thought initially, and I hope that I'm not. But I mean, I need to tame it in a little bit, but it's going to be. I think it's going to be difficult because I want to give her everything, and that's the battle you fight as a parent. You want to give them everything, but you also. I see that maybe you're like, hey, you're going to earn everything, but she's got more toys than I could have ever imagined.
It's crazy,
and it's like having one. It's like I need to not make you soft, and I worry about that.
How is my parenting with Emery?
Honest.
It's just, I mean, people don't like some of the things I tell Emery.
Yeah, right, sure.
I don't even realize it. I don't realize it until I'm around other parents, and I'm like, oh, it's not. What'd she say the other day? Oh, okay. Well, here's an example. I go eat with her at least once a week. I go eat with her at school, right? And so even on the weeks I don't have her, I still go eat with her. Make it a habit, just show up typically on Fridays, sometimes on Thursdays, but go eat with her. Last Friday I go eat, and she's got this boy she's got a crush on. His name's Caden. Shout out Caden if you're watching. Anyways, I'm like, hey, is Caden they can choose one kid to eat with them and get to sit at a special table with your parents, and you choose one kid. So I was like, is Caden going to come eat with us? She said, no, I don't think so. He's going to have lunch detention. He got into a fight on the playground. So they're coming straight from recess, right? And so Caden sees that we're there, and he sits down. And I was like, I thought you said he was gonna not be with us, not be able to eat with us. And Emery goes, yeah, Caden, you got into a fight. I thought you were gonna have lunch detention. He's like, oh no, it wasn't like that. Boys fight for fun. You can ask your dad. And I'm sitting right there, and she goes, no, I don't have to ask him. He always tells me I need to let these hands go. and Caden goes, that's right. He goes, because my fists are hungry and your face is on the menu.
Oh gosh. He's heard that from his dad.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh my God. And so they're having this whole little conversation, but I was sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, and he's like, you're around other kids. You don't want to, you don't want to overstep your boundary. But Caden was also the one that defined what gay was for us one day at the lunch table.
Oh boy.
Emery's like, gay means happy. And Caden's like, no.
Yeah.
No. This is what gay means. And I was like,
yeah.
How was the definition?
yeah, well, both were correct, So
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, and Emery's like looking at me all confused. And I'm like, well, it's probably not the time or place to dive into this. Caden, change the, you know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
but Caden just let us know real quick, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And so Caden's parents probably a little bit more like me. Like, I obviously hadn't had that conversation with Emery yet.
Right.
But, I have other conversations, she was talking about makeup, and I said something along the lines of, not, you don't need makeup yet. You're naturally beautiful. And she's like, no, all the other girls are wearing makeups and this and that. And I said, no, you don't need makeup. Like,
Yeah.
You don't need to be going around looking like
You're
Yeah.
8. You can just be 8. You'll be okay.
you can just be 8. You know what I mean? Like, but
I feel like you just held your tongue there for.
I did, but I said it, and when I said it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, now I'm gonna have to define that word, but it's just something that just, you know what I mean? It was just like, no, I'm not having a debate with an 8-year-old today
Yeah,
over makeup, and gonna end this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that kind of thing. But I don't.
Yeah.
With Emery, I'm like, I want her to have experiences in life. I want her to see a wide range of things that go on. The stuff, I don't want her to put a big value on stuff. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want her to. I want her to want to work hard, and I want her to be motivated to work hard. But at the same time, it's like we go to Miami, we take Emery with us. That's just the best of everything that I could do. You know what I mean? It's like we're here. It's not the best time, you know what I mean? But we're in Miami. You're getting to hang out on the beach. We're going to our conference.
Right.
We're going to eat afterwards.
Right.
We're getting to see it, eat it, breathe it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? We're in the moment. That's good enough for me.
And that is awesome.
Yeah, we
That
go to
is
San
awesome.
Francisco. She has no idea what that means.
Right.
She don't know. You know what I mean? But one day she'll look up and she'll go, I was standing in the 50-degree weather, getting the ocean mist was hitting me, and I was complaining about it because
Right.
it was
Yeah.
miserable.
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
in this,
Right. Right.
but in that moment, that was big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
she'll
like,
look back on that fondly. There's
yeah,
no doubt
she'll
about
look back and be like, that was big time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We drove to San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's legit. That's
Dude, we drove to San Francisco and stood. We couldn't see the Golden Gate Bridge, but it was there. We could touch it. You know what I mean? It was foggy, but
Yeah.
I mean, we stood there, and she'll know. She'll know at some point in her life. She'll look back on that and go, "That was big time."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we went to Miami and San Francisco within a year.
Yeah.
And drove to both.
Yeah.
That was big time.
That's
you know,
huge.
that was not that took a lot of effort. That took a lot of time. She won't necessarily know. Maybe she looks at the money, but I doubt. Because it didn't take a lot of money. That's the one thing it didn't take.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Took more time than anything. So, yeah, that's really it. But
What do you think? What do you think her interest rates are going to be whenever she's buying a house?
do you
Y'all
think,
like
Braxton?
that segue?
Who knows?
I don't know, man. Maybe interest will be outlawed by then. You know what I mean?
It'll be interest will be Bitcoin.
We might be just socialists by then.
Yeah.
You might just get,
don't tell me
here's your
like-
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
You
you like
live
my
with-
text yesterday?
Do what?
You got my text back yesterday?
Yeah, but we're not mentioning that. We're
Yeah.
going to wait till after.
Yeah, after dark episode or whatever.
No, I'm not. I'm not posting. I'm not posting about that until the opportunity to do that is over.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because I'm in the background. I'm texting everybody.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, have you done this yet? Have you done this yet? Have you done
It was
this
a
yet?
surprise text. Even
You know
for
what I
me,
mean?
it was a surprise text.
You're like,
I
yeah,
was
no,
like,
you need to go do this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Go
yeah.
get in on this action. So
Right.
He was in there strong yesterday morning for our meeting. Like
Yeah.
first thing you brought up.
yeah.
I have
know
my
that.
sticker.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah,
I haven't yet, but I will.
yeah.
No, because I want to talk about interest rates.
Well,
Because I mean, you lead me, but
I want you to talk about interest rates, but right now, okay, so 27 deals in 2021.
Yeah, 21,
We've
yeah.
jumped all over the place. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to edit this, but 27
well,
deals.
we didn't touch on that long, but yeah.
You did 27 deals. What? I mean, just
Word of
say
mouth,
what,
man,
what-
that's it.
Word of mouth. You were
Repeat
banging the
referral.
phones.
Yeah, but I haven't had a lot of success on that, and I think the reason why is because until this year, my follow up has been nothing short of brutal, and
Okay.
atrocious.
But when I got started in real estate,
Yeah.
you were already well into real estate, and I was
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
We went and looked at that Garland house.
Yeah.
It was 30 grand.
Yeah, I know, man.
We didn't do it.
I know. We should have done all
We're
those.
stupid.
Should have done
We're
all
so
those. You mean should have held all those? Should have held every single one of them.
We should have bought it. We should have just. We were there looking at it. We're like, this is a real piece of shit. But
Yeah.
we should have bought it. It was
Now
30.
you can't even find a piece of shit for 30 grand.
30
I mean,
grand in Garland sounds like a lot.
in Garland.
Yeah.
No, 30 grand in Garland. You can't find anything 30 grand.
That's what I mean. Like that sounds like a lot.
No.
Oh, a lot. No,
Like,
a lot.
Oh,
a city
a
lot.
lot. Yeah. I was like,
Dirt.
no,
City
it's
lot.
not
Dirt.
a lot. Yeah.
No, dirt.
Yeah. No, that's about
Small
right.
dirt.
Yeah.
So that being said, like we
27. What would you?
what you did 27 deals. That's a load. Okay, let's not discount that. That's a lot of
Okay.
deals. Okay, one man operation, 27 deals.
One man. Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay, you used to burn the phones up back then when we were looking at those Garland deals. Though you used to stay on the phone.
I did, but it was never very fruitful. I'm sure I got a handful of deals over time, but I would burn them up and then I would stop, and then I'd burn them up and I would stop because I was doing it myself. I was doing the absolute cold calling of expireds and stuff like that by myself, and that's some place that I've never been, still am not super comfortable in it. I just don't. I don't love it, which I would imagine a lot of people don't, but I do think it's so important. I've got multiple cold callers now making that introduction, and I found this much better for me is when I don't have to make that initial, hey, this is John, yada yada yada, like then it's a breeze. But the initial is what I'm not a fan of. Getting MF or how'd you get my name, like all that stuff.
It's a difference between cold and warm.
Well, but they're not exactly warm, but they are warmer. Like when I get them.
Oh, it's the difference between cold and warm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
When Braxton calls them and they've already called him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot better.
Are you doing inbound? Like they inbound call you, or you're doing
So
outbound?
we send out a mailer.
Yeah.
They call off the number.
Yeah.
Call that person back.
Yeah.
So they've called, said, "Hey, call me or text me, and I'll give you a
doubt.
cash offer." And they called.
Yeah, that's so much. That's the great way to do it.
That's
and
fine.
I was not doing in 2015 when we were first talking about all this stuff. It was the house expires on Monday. I'm calling them Monday morning, trying to like set up an interview if they're going to put it back on the market.
Dude, that's amazing though.
Yeah, but it hadn't happened in the last I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Dude,
It was
I knew
way.
somebody that made it a religion to do that 4 hours a day.
A day. Yeah,
4 hours every day, call expired. And I don't know if he still does that, but
there wasn't enough to. I mean.
no, I
There
get it.
wasn't
I get
enough
it.
to do it.
Well, how did you
but-
build that script? You went in there blind.
No, so I subscribed to a company called RedX, and they were expired leads that they provided, and they provided all sorts of. The thing about scripts to me, and I know you are way better and way more honed in on this stuff. You've had a lot of trainings and things like that, and I went to your cold calling. I don't know what.
No, it's called.
but-
It was on the phone.
Yeah, cold calling deal, little seminar, and to me the thing about scripts is the first thing is just talking to them and having something to say, right? If you have something to say and you're not stumbling over your words, even if it's just, hey, I'm John and this is what I'm doing, then okay, you're already like way farther than you are if you're just calling and you're stumbling over your words and don't have any clue about anything. And so, but from that said is they gave scripts. And so I was just following those. It wasn't intricate. It wasn't anything like that. It should have been more detailed to my market, more detailed to my marketing plan.
Yeah.
When they have something to, oh, what about this? I should have all of that already set up, which I didn't at the time. Now it's a little bit more defined, but now I'm not necessarily doing expireds and things like that. It's just cold calling.
But the condensed of a script.
Yeah.
Knowing, you know, we can go watch 1 million people waste hours of their day warming somebody up or getting to know something that doesn't even have the ability to sell.
Yeah,
You might not
so
even own the
that's-
property anymore.
That is such a huge thing and I think this is where you're going with this, but I'm much more, okay, I'm going to talk to them. I'm not trying to be their friend anymore.
Yeah.
I used to be like, and there are times where I still get caught on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes and it just freaking happens. And I just, next thing you know, they're talking about their dog that just passed away. It happens. But I try not to get to that point. I tried to get, hey, are you wanting to sell your house? Like, what's your situation? Yeah. And then, like, if they're not interested and you can kind of pick up on their tone, then I'm out. Yeah. Then it's moving on. I'm not trying to sell the unsellable. It's
well,
not,
and that's the thing. Like, look, in the future, if you are, but, you know, and then you can go for the second sell opportunity, which is, do you know anybody else that might be?
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? And get out of there.
Well, and the second part of it now that I've started moving into is, okay, now we can, my initial people that were touching have talked to you. You've told them, yes, we're interested in selling, whether it's a BS, yeah, give me $1 million for a $500,000 property, or whether it's like, you're actually willing to sell. And then I call and I qualify you even more. Then I can put you in the right bucket in Monday.com and nobody is getting deleted. Like, I've got a not interested, and maybe you can give me some ideas as far as what to call that, but I've got a not interested bucket, but they're still in a bucket and they're still going to get touched. And my goal is not to close them on that first conversation. That rarely happens. And maybe you get some from inbound leads, but from these outbounds, not necessarily. So
what is not interested?
Follow up.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what.
No, but he missed it. Poor Braxton. He's daydreaming. What is not interested?
I don't. You follow up with them.
It's a level of interest.
Oh, it's a level of
Not interested. Not interested is a level of interest.
Yeah, I think I've heard you say that before. That or Grant Cardone. I don't.
Yeah, no, it's both of us because it is the absolute truth. Yeah. Not interest is a level of interest.
Right, and so I think that, like, where I'm going is, like, all of these people, even if they're BSing, they're going to sell at some point. Either they're going to sell, or when they die, their kids are going to sell.
That's right.
And so we're putting them in buckets in the fall, and I'm really honing in on my guys. And then if they can't, I'm put it on myself. Whenever I'm talking to them, make sure you have a good phone number and that dang email address, because if you've got their email address and phone number, then you've got multiple ways of following up with them, especially if it's a cell phone. Then you can text, phone, and email. I don't know the exact rules as far as, like, texting them after you've talked to them. I'm assuming once you've talked to them and you've kind of got permission from them to text, that you can text. But if you've got those ways to chat with them on the phone, text, email, you've got a follow-up campaign for
a long time. Okay, let me ask you this: you've got 3 listings now. 27 over 21. That's what, 3 a month?
27.
That's what.
What did you say? 27 over
2.2 a month.
2.2 a month.
Oh, how many you do a month? Okay, yeah.
So 2.2 a month.
Yeah.
How many did you do in 22 so far?
I think 14 or something like that.
So a little bit less.
Down. It'll be down.
Yeah, volume's going down. Okay, but you're focusing on listings.
1,000%, man.
Listings should be picking up, but that's neither here nor there.
I got beat up. Can I be honest with you? I got beat up in early 2022 because I had a lot of buyers and a lot of buyers that are great people. Just we didn't have the ability to compete with what was going on at that time. So I got pretty beat up in the early part of the year. Now they will still be clients, and I will still get them homes. But
you know when the time to buy is?
Now. I mean, not now. Well,
no, it's right now. It's right now.
I don't know. That's like
it's right now. Right now.
Why do you think it's the right time to buy?
Because here's why. You can go equity shopping now. You find somebody, you can go equity shopping.
So that means that you believe that we're not going to take a dump in the next year.
You can take a dump. You can take a dump all you want.
Yeah.
You ain't buying a house for a year-long plan. You're buying a house on a 10-year-long plan.
Okay, yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
It's like this. Right now, the difference between the people you got right now, if the people you got have a low interest rate, they have a house already, they're not a first-time home buyer, it probably ain't the time to sell for them. You know what I mean? They're not going to get the most money for their house. So, going and trying to upgrade a house really depends on if they're trying to get a bigger house or a smaller house,
Right,
what their goals are. But if it's a first-time home buyer right now, today's market, this is your very first rattle out of the cage, go buy a less house with more equity, get a discount, and never sell the motherfucker. When you get ready to buy your next house, you can sell it, pull the proceeds out tax-free, or you can refinance it, take the proceeds out, still tax-free, and then use that for your down payment on your forever home. But don't skip out on this equity right now.
So I go back and forth, and I think one of the biggest deals for me is it's hard to. I've been trying. Everybody's always trying to predict the market, right?
No, don't do that.
Well, that's my point. And we personally sold our house in 2018 because I thought 2019 things were gonna to hit the skids.
Yeah, you tried to time the market.
I tried to time the market, and I did in 2019 and early 2020. I was feeling real good about myself, and now I wish I still owned that dang home, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I don't know if right now is the time to buy or not. All I know is it's impossible to time the market, to try and time the market. And what I will say is I do think just from a time of year standpoint, I think going equity shopping right now is solid. But I think if we're talking about, and I don't know if you asked me or I asked you, I don't remember, but I do think early 2023 is going to be it's going to hit the skids even more. That's just a guess. I think so because I think that once taxes and things like that really start, I candidly think, I think you're going to be on the opposite end of this. I think investors that paid too much for homes in 2021 and 2022, and now they're unprotected and about to get those taxes are about to hit them, are going to be in trouble and have to sell, and the market's going to be flooded because they were buying all across the board.
If they can sell.
Well, and that's my point. And if they can't sell, then homes are going to go even lower.
Maybe. Look. Here's the problem with all of that. That's tomorrow's market. We're in today's market.
Absolutely.
Today, there's equity on the table. Go get it.
And I agree with that. And I'm preaching the same exact thing that you're saying in that go buy your house. That's fine. But let's definitely not look at this house as in we're going to go sell it next year for profit.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I read, I don't even remember the name of the book, so I can't really help you all out. But I just read a book over developing. Did I give it to you? Did I send you the screenshot? Of course not. Well, I would have. Don't need Braxton getting better. I gave it to Jacob, though.
No, hey, this guy's 19. That's impressive, bro, that he's sitting here with 19.
I know.
It's impressive.
It's even more impressive when you know about his disability.
Well, I can't see it if you have one that's...
Ask him about it off camera. He's real shy about it. Real shy. But it's... Anyways, I read this book and what's the three most important things in real estate?
Location.
I don't know. Location being one of them.
So everybody always says location. There's a gentleman survived Nazi Germany, building the Miami One building, I think in downtown Miami. I don't remember his name though. He's in the book. He started being a real estate developer in 1950. He's gone through 9 market cycles. Okay. Do you know what he says? The three most important things.
Equity.
Timing.
Okay, but that just goes against what we said. You can't time the market.
You can't time the market.
So he's gotten lucky 9 times or what?
No. You can't time the market, but it's way more important than location.
Mm-hmm.
You can have an A+ location, and the market can time you out at that A+ location.
Okay, I believe that.
You know what I mean? But if you're
what's the name of that book? You say you don't
something
know.
about developing. It goes through real estate development. It wasn't what I expected. I expected a lot less. It was a good book. I enjoyed it. I need to read it again. So, anyways, but you can the right location with the wrong time. Think about the people that bought in 2022 peak market, April, May, whatever that was, in an A+ location that you just talked about. They won the bidding war, got 100,000 over asking. They got the location. Job transfers them to a different state. They got to sell in today's market.
That's tough.
They got an A+ location. They don't have a 10-year horizon though.
Yeah.
So they're toast. They're going to have to eat it in the shorts on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now that location will be superior 5 years from now. It would have.
Yeah.
It's going to work out with a 10-year window. But with
They got a good interest rate.
yeah, it's going to work out. It's going to work out in that spin. But currently, you could get timing could time you out of that. So, I personally think that today's market, you can go equity shopping. You can go equity shopping. Go do it. Just go do it. Go get you some equity. Go.
Are you
get
talking about from a retail or
I'm talking about retail market. Go get you some vitamin E. It might not be as big of a house as you want. It might not be everything that you want it to be. But guess what? You're going to have good old-fashioned vitamin E.
Yeah.
You're going to make money when you buy. Go make your money, boo-boo. Because you can rent for the next however long it is, right? And the next time the market heats up and interest rates go down and you're getting a little bit bigger house on, a little, about the same payment, I guess, is the way it would work. Yeah, you're doing great, but guess what you're doing? You're buying peak market all over again.
Yeah, right.
Like, why? Go get you some vitamin E right now. If tomorrow the government doesn't have or the Fed or whoever it is don't have the stomach to keep going with interest rates, and interest rates either plateau or go back down or whatever it is, you would have done pretty well.
Right.
If the market continues to get worse, again, go equity shopping. I mean, we're seeing lowball offers.
For sure.
We're getting the best lowball offers.
Well, and that's so. I'll give you a perfect example, and I won't give I'll give the city, but one right now in Heath, Rockwall. Sorry, not Heath. Y'all familiar with that? I'm not sure you are.
Do you?
You know where Rockwall is? Heath, Rockwall Heath.
No, we don't play like that.
Anyways, it's the east side of Dallas, basically. It's
my God.
Garland, Rowlett, Rockwall Heath.
It sounds like herpes.
No, it's probably maybe they do. Maybe the younger people there have a lot of that. I don't know. But anyway, so to your point is there was a property that was put on the market, I think it was 50 days ago now.
Yeah.
And put on the market for $1.1 million. They bought it's a brand new build.
Okay.
They went under contract, I believe somewhere like March of 21. Finished in August of 22. Put it on the market because their job got transferred, just like you were mentioning. But they bought it in 21, and it appreciated like crazy once it closed. And so they thought they were going to make a mint. Anyways, ultimately, we're under contract for a couple $100,000 less than that. And if this was 4 or 5 months ago, they probably would have got that 1-1. And so
what'd they pay for it? Do you know?
I don't know what they paid for it.
Damn. So they're not taking it in the shorts, though.
No, I'm pretty sure they're not taking it in the shorts. I'm pretty sure that they're doing fine, but they're not making a couple hundred. I know that.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't know a lot about that. You know what I mean? A 1-1 house, I can't even fathom it. I would never own one. Would never buy one. I would list one.
You will. You'll own a 1-1. I'm sure of it.
No, I won't.
The reason why I say that is because you just think about. I don't know where. I honestly have no clue where you live right now, what kind of house you live in, or
how's
whatever.
my house, Braxton?
A little dirty.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it is, but
a little leaky.
But
It's got a little leaky. It's
probably,
it's clean.
Probably so. But what would you say? Well, did you buy it or what? What's
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what? Do you mind what you paid?
Well, Jacob moved on the street, and his neighbors they were being a little lippy. They were doing a little of this, a little of that. And you know what? Jacob said, "I got fuck you money. How much you want for this?"
Yeah.
And they said they wanted $135, and Jacob wrote them a check.
Yeah.
And told them to pack their shit, and they need to be out by Monday. That's literal. I swear to fucking God, that's how it happened. They were doing this, and Jacob said, "Are you complaining at me? Yeah. Didn't you want to sell your house? Yeah. How much you want?" They said $135. Jacob said, called the title company, said, "Hey, can you have this ready to close on Monday?" This was like on a Thursday.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
So
swear.
You got a survey?
No, and the title company said, "Yeah, we can close that on Monday."
Yeah.
So Jacob went back to him and said, "Sign here." He said, "We're closing on Monday. There better not be any item that's there Monday afternoon is getting thrown in the trash," and they were gone.
Yeah.
So
well, my point is, and the reason why I was bringing up what you pay for is not to be nosy and figure out what you pay for it, but is to say that house when we're 65 years old, maybe it's not 1-1. But chances are you're not living there either.
I'll be living there.
Oh, well, maybe you are, but
We'll add a little something extra to it. You know.
well, then there you go. So you're going to make the property worth more. And like, I'm just saying, like, and maybe I'm jaded by the Dallas market, candidly, but it's literally like there are S-holes that are just like 300 grand, 350, 400.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, and not even like in the, like you go to Highland Park, that's where the dirt is $1.5 million, $2 million. You know, I'm not even talking about those areas. I'm talking about like in Garland. You walk in and you're like,
and you could have
this
bought
is 300.
and
This is 300.
And that property was on MLS at some point for 105 in my real estate career.
Absolutely.
And that's the
what I'm
difference.
saying is like 65, 30 years from now, like
The guys with vision back then saw the 105 house, knew it was going to be a 300 house eventually. They knew replacement cost wasn't coming down. They knew the outside areas were going to grow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They understood that, but they knew that core area, that 105 house, was going to be a great rental forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was only going to go up in value. They knew that. That's the same knowingness I buy a $30,000 trailer house with.
Right.
You get what I mean? I'm out here buying a $30,000 trailer house on land because my knowingness tells me that the price of a trailer house is going to be more than $30,000 for the rest of my life.
right.
And I'm buying dirt with it too.
Right.
You get what I mean? So it's like I'm going to do this deal as many times as it becomes available to me, and I'm going to throw a tenant in there and let them service it. Now, Braxton here, young Braxton, 19-year-old. I guess Spoonie just left. What do you think?
Yeah, he's out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No
said-
ways.
I mean, he went to close on a owner finance
I
trailer
thought
house
downstairs.
for $235. He sold one $235 owner finance
Nice.
on land.
How much y'all buy that one for?
$135.
There
So
you go.
yeah, is that right? Yes,
Think so.
definitely. We've owned it a little while though.
Yeah.
But that's the exit strategy. I mean, like the thing about our
Yeah, that's fantastic.
our
man.
business is we can take anybody with 20 grand and turn them into a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
We can just, you got 20 grand, come be a homeowner.
Right. Right.
You know, we just got that skill set. What you got going on right now with your 3 listings? I think you need to be leaning into the buyers. I think your listings are still selling, but I think it's a buyer's market now.
Yeah.
So you got a little 6 agents. They need to be their messaging needs to be uber tight on equity shopping. I hate all that date the rate bullshit.
yeah.
I hate all that.
Yeah,
but I do like the idea of getting a little vitamin E in your life.
Yeah, sure. Like I get the whole date the rate thing. It's a catchphrase, but like ultimately it's kind of misleading in my mind. It's kind of like the expectation is that the rate is going to go down
It's
soon.
a little promiscuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
for
like
sure.
Trying to be a whore.
Yeah, right.
No,
exactly.
I'm playing. But
No, so ultimately, like, I just think it's a catchphrase for them to sell more loans, honestly, and for realtors to sell more loans too. But
this is true.
but like, ultimately, the reason why I am anti-buyer's agent, and not anti-buyer's agent, but always like going after buyers is yes, you got to do what you have to do to eat. Like that's first and foremost. Right now, if there's a message to real estate agents out there at all, it is the next year or two is probably going to be tough. There are going to be a zillion agents that thought that they were going to come in the market in 2020 and light the world on fire, and they realize that it's not as easy as it looks. And I'm not saying it's the most challenging thing ever, but I am saying that listings and people don't rain down from up above to say, hey, all of a sudden we are going to make you millions of dollars just because you took a month and a half to get licensed and now all of a sudden you're going to sell a bunch of homes. That's not how it works. And so there's going to be a mass exodus of realtors. And
OnlyFans.
yeah, sure, go for it. Do whatever you have to do. But my point is, first thing is, if what you have is the buyer, go out there and sell them a home and get some money in your pocket and make sure that you're doing good by them. The second thing, though, is listings, in my opinion, are and always will be the name of the game, because then you control the market. I do think that buyers are big time right now because homes are sitting there. And so if you have to have money tomorrow, go find a buyer. There's a house out there for them, and you will make sure and you will get paid quickly.
Yes.
But
let me back you up though.
Yeah.
In a buyer's and a seller's market,
Yeah.
The poker chips go back and forth across the table.
Yeah.
In a seller's market, if you had a listing, you had all the aces.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, if you have a buyer, you have all the aces.
I think that you have like, so you're saying you have 4 of a kind. Like if I'm doing that, I'm saying you've got trips and like it's more of. I think it's more of an equal playing field right now. And the reason why I say that is because listings, at least in the DFW area, if you're priced right and it's not a shithole, they will sell. And I do think if you have an agent that's doing what they're supposed to be doing, there was a lot of agents in 2020, 2021 that they got the listing and they didn't have to work anymore, which kudos to them, but they stopped answering their phones. They stopped replying to emails. They stopped replying to text messages because the house was sold as soon as they put it on the MLS.
Yes.
And it's not going to be that way.
It's not that way.
Right now. And so you have to market the home. You have to put your name out there. But what happens is if you have the listing, that allows you to, and you can do it other ways, but that allows you to send the just listed postcards, that allows you to have the open houses, which then generate buyers, and then will get you your buyers in. So you have a seller, and if you're doing it correctly, hopefully a seller then leads into a buyer.
I see what you're saying now. I see that you can use a listing to generate buyer leads.
Yes.
I understand that now. Okay. But that's the only positive of having a listing out. If I had a buyer, 800 credit score, pre-approval, ready to rock and roll, they are up against a rate increase next month. They have to get on a home. They will be buying down a rate if they don't get on a home.
Right.
They are up against a wall like you ain't never had them up against in their life when it comes to that rate gun against their head. Okay. But the seller, I mean, that rate increase going to mess them up too, because it's going to knock that many more buyers out of the marketplace.
And I do agree with that.
And so you can be out there just being a bully with a buyer, because we getting bullied with buyers.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we reset the market. We have reset the market in Bastrop, Texas. 480 neighborhood. Old Braxton here gets us a banger. It was a little ugly. We had to go down there and clean it up.
They are, right? I mean,
yeah,
all of them.
$200,000. So it got us a banger. We were like, woo, woo, woo.
So in a 480 market.
Bought it for $200.
Bought it for $200. Yeah.
Looking at it like, man.
Yeah.
It got a showing a day.
Yeah.
It was getting showings. We listed for $375. It was showing. No offers. We started submitting our reverse offers, where even though we got the listing, as soon as they look at it, we send them an offer.
Yeah, so you turn yourself into a buyer.
Yeah, we're submitting. We're making them play the game. We're selling that thing for $260.
Right.
$260. Now people are like, "Oh man, you're making $60,000." That's not how math works. That's not how math works. We might walk with 30. Won't matter though. We're gonna get paid. We're gonna get, Christmas is now. You know what I mean? That deal closes. Christmas is handled.
Yeah.
But that's the reality of it. Like that's going to tank that neighborhood. That neighborhood is going to go from a 480 neighborhood to a 260 neighborhood as soon as that deal closes.
Right. But you were the seller.
I was the seller.
So you made that happen.
Yeah, I tanked the market.
Well, but like they might,
because
it could be a one-off and things like that. If there are others that are
the buyer,
really selling it
the buyer's getting a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
So it's either one of two things: the buyer, we reset the market and it's now a 260 market, or the buyer just picked up $200,000 in equity. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either way, we blew a deal up. We have a house that we bought for $185. We got a $230 or $225 offer on it. Could have got away from it, and it would have been over and done with. Would have tanked that market. That's a $300,000 neighborhood.
Right.
Would have tanked that market too, as well.
Are you saying that that's going to be happening more and more and more and more, and so like that's why it's going to be super tough to be the seller?
Well, no, the sellers don't get to set anything.
I'm not saying
the buyer is dictating to us the price. We are the motivated seller in this situation, because we are looking. Our peak purchases, we're looking to reset. We're looking to bring our dollar cost average down. So if we can get away from them making one red penny, we will take that offer versus renting it out and waiting it out. Right. So if they make an offer that we will make a dime on, we will take it. Knowing that those sellers are in the marketplace right now, as a seller, if that happens to you, I mean, how many times has it got to happen in a neighborhood right now for an appraiser to only pick that property?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the buyers, they're out there making gut shots. They're just, we got a $90,000 offer on a 185 listing. I was like, that's my guy.
I love that offer.
I love that
Yeah.
offer. I want to make friends with him. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, he's a cool homie. Like,
Right.
thank you for that today. So no, I just think if you have buyers, if you can create buyers in a market where there's no other buyers, you can go equity shopping, vitamin E shopping. You can keep your mojo running. But you have to become a salesperson.
Yeah. Whose perspective are we talking about here, by the way? Are we talking about from the buyer's perspective? Or are we talking about from the realtor's perspective? Or are we talking about from the investor's perspective?
All the above.
The reason why I'm trying to differentiate is because if it's from the buyer's perspective, right, like a retail buyer,
Yeah.
let's go get it, and but ultimately I'm talking about from the retail side of things, and especially a retail agent, which is what I am, is I still think that the listing side, and this is more so like advice to myself, advice to people out there, and it's not that I disagree with the buyers, because the buyers will bring you absolute money right now, and they will get good deals, and they will have equity going into it. You might or might not have to wait a little bit before you sell it, depending on what happens, how many times a Corey Thompson resets the market. But you can do 5 buyers in a month, but you're run absolutely ragged.
Oh, no,
but
I'm not
you
talking
could
about that.
have
I'm not
20 listings.
20
and so you can still do more.
20
there.
20 listings. You can have 20 listings
Obviously,
and
I'm being honest.
operate those, because
Right.
especially now where there's almost no showings.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's like-
you don't have, nobody's calling you. so
Nobody's
you don't-
calling you. I mean, there's nothing going on. To hell with it. Get 20 listings.
Yeah.
But if you got a buyer, here's the difference between the way I see real estate agenting and most real estate agents see real estate. I'm not going to drive you to 22 houses.
Right.
I'm going to get your parameters. I'm going to sell you a fucking house, bro.
Right.
We're going in. Here's how. If I'm the agent, if Braxton, you want to buy a house? Mm-hmm. All right. Here's what we're going to do, Braxton. What do you want? You want what size?
3-2.
What's your budget?
200,000 or below.
Great. Here's what we're going to do, Braxton. I'm going to go into the 350 neighborhood of 3.2s. You want a pool? You want anything extra?
No, just the house.
All right, cool. We're going to go in here and we're going to submit offers all day for 200 in a 350 neighborhood. We're just going to bang them down. And the first person to come close is what we're going to do. And then we're going to stair step down to 325. We're going to go down to fucking 285. We're going to find that value, right? And as soon as we get somebody on the ropes at your budget, then we're going to go look at the house and see if it works. Does that work for you?
That does.
If you have the buyer that is only looking at the output, the money that they're putting out,
That's the buyer I'm looking for.
and if you prospect for those buyers,
What
it's
school?
like,
You got
hey,
school district you want to be in?
I don't care.
Well, then,
but I
yeah,
can
mean,
search your
that's-
bias. But if you did have a school district, I can
Okay.
still do it.
For sure. But what I'm getting at is when I'm working with retail buyers, and I 1000% get the point that you're making. If it is, and there was a realtor that a client was telling, or not a client, but somebody I was talking to was telling me that this is how their realtor was. Hey, I'm showing you 10 houses. And you're going to kind of do the TV show thing where you like 3 of them. We pick between those 3 and you submit one offer. And if you don't want any of those 10 houses, we go out 3 times. I'll show you a house 3 times. And if you don't pick a house, hey, I'm going to shake your hand, but I'm moving on.
Well, I wouldn't
And-
even do it that way. I would have my buyers' expectations set from day one. Braxton, we're going equity shopping.
Yeah, so you're just submitting
We're
offers.
going equity shopping. The biggest mistake you're going to make in this housing market is not getting equity on the buy. We're going to get you equity on the buy.
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
Does.
What if it doesn't work for you?
I'm not buying a house then.
Yeah, then it don't work for me. I'm not taking you as a buyer.
Yeah.
But I'm a broker, so I got this guy that'll drive you around all fucking day. Get with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's how I'm shifting. I'm going through that, right?
Yeah.
I'm educating my buyer on what the game is. The game today isn't buy your dream home. The game today is get vitamin E, get equity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I would love for you to tell my wife that.
She want to buy a house?
No, she's not wanting to buy a house right now. But I'm saying whenever we're looking at houses, it is not, oh, I want equity. Which is the way I'm looking at it, right? Like, I want to buy a house that's not perfect, that I can come in there and we can do some stuff.
It can be perfect.
I get what you're saying, right? Now it can, but
No, it can be perfect. That's what I'm. Look, we are the buyers. We get to ask for perfection at the price that we want. We are in a buyer's market
right now. You can, yes,
that's right.
But what I'm saying is that a lot of people don't care about the equity.
Yeah,
as crazy as that sounds.
Because real estate agents, what is a real estate agent, Braxton?
They're a licensed real estate professional.
That's right, but they're not educating their buyers on what the game is today.
Yeah.
The game ain't forever home. The game is a $200,000 lick. Let's go smack one.
Love that idea.
Let's knock one in the head.
Well, because think about it, homeownership is the American dream.
Yeah.
So why not set them up to have a successful American dream?
Yeah.
I love that idea. But y'all know that when a buyer, 90%, we talked about this earlier today, 90% of the time, they do not want to go into the house and do all of this work.
We're not asking them to.
But what I'm saying
it's a buyer's market. We're going to make the sellers do it.
It's not 2012 or 2010 yet. Like, it's not that time yet to where you can go into at least in Dallas, is where you can go into any house and be like, yeah, I want that one.
It is that time. As soon as the agents start educating the world on what time it is, that's what time it's going to be. You got to remember, how does a run on the bank happen?
How does a what?
A run on the bank happen. You know what a run on the bank is?
Like where they're like,
where somebody goes and pulls all their money out the bank.
I don't know how that happens.
Here's all that happens is I got my money at a bank. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Somebody calls me and says, "Hey, you hear that bank? I heard it's going to go out of business."
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, "Nah, man, there ain't no way." No, that's what I heard. Who told you? A guy we both trust. Oh, shit. A guy we both trust said the bank's going to go out of business? That's crazy. Yeah. I'm going to go down and get my money out. Yeah, I'll go down there too. And we go get our money out. And then I call John. I said, "John, I just went and got my money out the bank." Why'd you get your money out the bank? A guy I trust. A guy I trust? No, a guy we trust. This guy. Oh, man, that guy? Yeah, that guy. Boom. Now you're getting your money out the bank. Braxton gets his money out the bank.
Yeah.
For too long, the FDIC is doing a silent auction for that bank. And a bigger bank's buying it. Why? Because all the people that had faith in the bank no longer had faith in the bank. The marketplace in real estate is the exact same way. Look, it's the marketplace. As soon as the consensus becomes that we are in a buyer's market, what does Jet say?
We're having to be more cautious. We're having to slow down.
It's a buyer's market. What does Jet do?
Lend.
So when the lenders are like, whoa, you know what I mean? Now it's like, okay, you get that one piece of information out there. Hey, this lender is pulling out the game. Yeah. This deal is pulling out the game. Doubt. You get what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm thinking, now I've got to sell my house. I might have missed my window of opportunity, but I got to sell my house. I got to move to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got somebody who's beating me up on price and want me to put in floors, but I got to get to Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's absolutely opportunity for that. I'm not denying that. But absolutely.
It's the education of the buyer that is missing, because the real estate agent is like, look, you know, we the only thing on the table right now is vitamin E. It's October. It's 8% interest rates. Let's go get vitamin E. Mm-hmm. Everything else is secondary. Everything else, the pool, the bedrooms and bathrooms you got to have because you got a family, but the pool, the this, the that, we'll get that later. When you hit this licky, we'll go grab it on the next one.
I love that thought. And I think that that's the right way to go about it. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I just think, man, I talk to a lot of buyers. They're just not, they don't want, they're so emotional. That's why we have jobs, is because they are emotional.
I get it.
And so they're so emotional towards that purchase. Look, the majority of them, no matter how much I say, like, hey, go buy this house, or like, let's go beat them up on this price or this house. Yeah, but I love that other house over there because it's perfect and it's done. It's in the same neighborhood. Like, you can make that one, this one, or this one, that one, all of that stuff. They'll go spend the extra money on that.
No, that's fine when they got that ability. That's fine when they got that ability. What does it matter to you?
Well, no,
Yeah, when they got the extra money. But here's the thing.
it does matter to me in one way, but
Yeah, but when they want to go spend the money on the extra house, that's whatever. But here's the overall messaging that the real estate industry has to have right now. I'm a real estate agent. I'm a broker. I'm out here in the marketplace. Buyers.
yeah,
You're Mr. Braxton Harrison that's sitting on the hot sideline waiting. Oh, no, it's not the time to buy. It is absolutely the time to buy. It is the time to buy because you can get equity right now.
and I do agree with that.
And as soon as enough people go ding, equity, it's not next full buying right now. It's the only full buying. If I'm the only full buying, I get to name my price.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're the next full buying, guess what? You get to pay the previous fool's price.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to change that messaging. It's got to be it's got to be going into the marketplace hard because otherwise when buyers finally get their stomach full and they don't realize that there's equity to be had and they're just like the only thing I'm buying is a monthly payment that I don't want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they don't see the equity side of things. Then all the buyers disappear. Right. And then the only people that are going to be buying at that point in time, all the retail people, they'll miss out because who's going to be buying? Fucking Braxton all over again. He's going to be over there. This is investor Braxton, not the
not the
retail Braxton.
Yeah.
This is investor Braxton.
Yeah.
But that's really how that's how I see it. Now I don't know how to change the messaging in a marketplace. You know what I mean? We can just come on this podcast and
beat them over the head with it. Huh?
Rip it, and they're going to cut it into mini content and send it out. Send it out across the airwaves and that's it. But one of the things, have you talked to a bunch of mortgage
lenders.
Mortgage brokers, lenders?
Yeah.
Have you, when you talk to them, or you ask them point blank, like how many buyers are you working with right now?
No, I haven't, but I know that just because I know that they're getting beat up,
they're getting hurt.
So, right. but not just them, like the realtors that haven't been in the market for a long time or that aren't actively pursuing business, they're getting beat up too.
Well, yeah,
right now. But I don't know, I don't know if that's where you're going. But yeah, I don't know exactly how many this one is doing, that one's doing that. But I know this. I know appraisals are happening a hell of a lot faster. I know loans are getting processed a hell of a lot faster. And so they're not busy, they're not near as busy as they were when interest rates were 3 and they could refinance anything and everything. And now, before, a couple indicators, before now home builders weren't sending out any flyers to emails. Now my inbox is flooded with flyers from this community, that community.
But there's no buyers.
Lenders are because you can go equity shopping.
That's what I'm saying.
And I agree with that 1,000%. But all I'm getting at is and not to beat a dead horse, is I just think that it's going to take a little bit of time to get that messaging across to say this is, and I think that messaging happens next year, and when the news channels start really honing in on
once the news shows up, they're really gonna
this is a great time to buy. Let's do it.
They're gonna break the back. Once the news starts talking about it, but social media can
that'll
influence.
be on there as well. But lenders, they're starting to reach out to me. Hey, John, haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah.
This, that, and so
that's the thing to do. That's a good human to know.
Yeah.
Braxton, anybody calling you? Mm-mm. No, they're all worthless.
Right.
See?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We know lenders, they ain't calling us. Yeah. They ain't calling us saying, hey, you know what I mean? Got any owner finance buyers that I could refinance? Yeah. Think about how many owner finance buyers we have in our portfolio that got a 700 credit score right now.
Yeah.
That ain't missed a payment that could refinance because they're going from 10.5 interest rate down to 8.
Yeah.
That's that. You know what I mean?
That's actually genius.
Yeah. They should be calling investors looking for that refinance.
They should be calling every one of you.
Yeah. Because investors could take one of those owner finance notes, give them a decent, a guy that had decent credit the day they bought, just didn't have, maybe job history or whatever it was. But
then cash you out too.
And cash us out. Yeah. So we get a little payday. You know what I mean? Our little $200 a month turns into $20,000 licky. We're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But that's all, relative to the messaging. Right now, I messaged my guy Andrew on Facebook.
It's a lender.
Yeah. I said, how many people you working with? He goes, man, I'm working with 3 investors. That's it. What you got?
No, just burp.
Oh,
that was it, man. Sorry.
Thought I had a little something in my beard. Anyways,
no, man.
He said he's working with 3 investors. DSCR, loans. He said investment loans are about the only thing he has. He said it's real hard to get retail buyers, to commit to this. And I was like, dang, there's a messaging problem industry wide right now. That whole date the rate thing is the wrong messaging.
Yeah.
Get you some vitamin E, son.
Yeah.
Go shopping. Get that pre-approval. Find out what you can buy with today's interest rates and go gut shoot offers. That's the messaging.
Yeah.
Braxton, you gonna do it? I'm a little
I'm
sad
about
because like right now I don't feel like marketing. They we're talking about marketing and lead flow and all that kind of stuff. We backed off of marketing, not on purpose. I mean, we just didn't send any because we don't have any place for it to go. Like we'd wholesaled everything that we had. You know what I mean? We just didn't have anything to go. Come on in, Spoonie.
There it is.
Second half of the podcast.
Second half. I got to wrap this thing up, bro.
Yeah.
gotta wrap
Hey, John Jacobus is here right now. He said he's got to wrap this thing up. You sit down, get you a microphone in your
I
mouth.
was lucky enough to spend a few minutes with John Jacobus. And
We had a great
talk about
conversation.
life And
But
real estate.
But
Yeah.
if you change the messaging, John, it can start with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can change the messaging. If we came in here every week and beat them over the head with going vitamin E shopping, if we became the vitamin E squad,
Well, I will steal that. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, like
I
you
will
don't-
steal the vitamin E.
yeah,
It's like
you-
what he pointed out, though. It's like real estate agents are real estate professional. That should be the human saying, hey, look at what's going on in the economy. Like, this is what you should be doing. You're
There's no-
advising on what the best
You
course
have to
is.
be, there's no doubt about it. You have to advise your clients. Like you, as a real estate agent, and that's why I think it's garbage that the barrier to entry is so easy, is because you cannot.
You're a fiduciary, aren't you?
Yeah,
As a-
absolutely. Absolutely. And you cannot truly advise somebody professionally taking a 2-month course, passing a test, and then all of a sudden you're licensed and you're supposed to help somebody for real.
Do you go to a
It's-
barber to get your hair cut?
No.
Do you-
No. I do it myself. man.
Okay. Well, do you know how many hours a barber has to go to school to be able to cut hair?
Well, I thought you were literally like making like a
No,
bald
no.
thing, but like it's no. So I don't know.
It's like
how.
180 hours. It's more
Right.
than you have to be
Well,
to
let
be a
me-
realtor.
But yeah, which is crazy, right? Because they're talented and things like that. Don't
I'm
want
not
to take
saying
anything
that.
away.
I'm just saying they're not acting in the same
Absolutely.
capacity.
They're not representing somebody on a $500,750,000 transaction. Like, whereas like, that's a great point because there's so many times, man, where I look at listings and I didn't back in the day, back in 2008, whenever I first got my license and didn't know what the hell I was doing for the first literally like 7 years because I was just flying by the seat of my pants. I used to think it was such an amazing thing that you could go get your license in 2 months.
I still think it's amazing.
I think it's horrible.
Oh, I'm just glad to know I got 2 more years of flying by the seat of my pants.
I think it's horrible. The reason why I think it's horrible is because if you're a real estate investor and you want to go risk your own money and you want to convince somebody to put their money into your deal, like by all means, go ahead. But if you want to go out there and you want to truly help somebody sell their house or buy their house and know what the hell you're talking about, it's hard to do that. And call it 6 months. It's hard to do that.
I can do it.
And I think, yeah. But we were talking earlier. I don't know if we're being recorded or not. So you
No, I
wanna
wish
come back
we
and
were.
say-
It was brilliant.
But we were talking earlier
amazing
about how you're one of
conversation.
the sharpest dudes out there. And so,
No, you weren't. You,
oh, that's
so if
right. I wasn't supposed to say
I
it.
can't compliment Corey in front
that's
of him.
right. That's right. My bad.
Those cameras were on though.
My
They were
bad.
not. And that's the
They're
only
always
reason I
on.
talked about it.
Yeah.
They're
So
always
it was
on.
always
No,
made
that
clear.
came out of my
They're
mouth,
always
not
on.
his. No, I'm
Right.
just kidding.
I
No,
specifically said his ego is the size of this building.
Yeah, don't say
tell
it.
him.
now you know you can't trust me, right?
Yes,
No,
I do.
but I mean, I think that it's fantastic because it gives somebody a living. That's great, and it gives those people that are going to go out there and take it seriously and do it like an avenue to do
Yeah.
it without having to go to college for 4 years. But I also think that it's like it needs to be taken seriously.
What-
You think there's some housewives that just get it so they can tell people they're a realtor?
Yeah, of course, and then they'll do like their 4 deals
So
and all
sexist.
that stuff. But like, yeah, sure. I mean, and good for them, and good for the people that use them, like and all that stuff.
What about
But-
A
stay-at-home
lot of
dads?
coaches that need a summer job.
Yeah, you
Like,
know.
why didn't you talk about the stay-at-home
I
dads
just
that
talked
do
about
that?
coaches that need summer jobs.
What? Those aren't stay-at-home dads.
Okay.
Well, either way,
They
yeah,
could
Tell
be
us
yes.
about all the stay-at-home dads.
I'm just curious if you had to talk about housewives, why couldn't you not talk about the other guy?
Just out here
Man,
framing things.
No, I mean for real, like though, but like you just said, housewives. Like, you know what I mean? Like there aren't useless
I think there's a
male
lot
real estate agents out there.
there are. I didn't get to that yet. I've talked about 2 of the situations.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people that get it so they can tell people they're realtors
Yeah.
and never take the job seriously.
It is
I'm
a
a
sexy
licensed-
thing. Yeah, but it's not.
I don't know if you know this, but real estate agents are licensed real estate professionals.
Licensed professionals
Like,
in real estate.
Yeah. But here's what another thing I'll say is, like, if you're going to choose, I would say if you're on the fence on everything right now about you want to get into real estate and whatnot, and I've been dragging my feet since we talked in 2015, but like I would definitely choose the investor side versus the retail side.
You gonna go get some vitamin E? You gonna put that $750 on a ride?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing.
I mean, it's nothing not to know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's
Hey.
the deal that drives me crazy.
Braxton,
Not doing
what
it.
are y'all buying? What are y'all buying?
Buying 4 trailer houses for $90,000,
What are they gonna rent for a piece?
probably about $1,000 each.
That's $4,000 a month.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
that's a
what's
little
it-
over a 4% deal.
What's the debt service on those 4 trailers?
It's gonna be like $12,000 a year, a little less
Okay,
Each or total?
total. Yeah, 100.
So you're
say
making
$100,000
$48.
worth
You're
of
making
debt.
48, and you only have 12.
yeah. So hold on. Now let's back this up. Now you're a licensed real estate professional. So now trailer houses aren't going to come with a lot of depreciation over time, but they will come with a lot of bonus depreciation if you wanted to get it. If you want to get it, you bang that bonus depreciation, and it'll hit your active income because that's just it ain't gonna make enough. Anyways, that's for a CPA. Who's gonna finance that for y'all?
The private money.
And then what?
Take it to a bank, refinance it,
Once
forget
it's
we own it.
performing.
Yeah. Now, how much money will you ever have in this deal?
0 probably.
You can do the same transaction.
No doubt.
No. You can like that deal right there was on our board, and we were all
He's
just
not
staring
getting
at
that one.
Yeah, but we were all just staring at who's going to buy this one.
Right.
And we're like, who do we know that's got a 750 credit score that's bankable?
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? 750. I wasn't sure where you were going.
Yeah,
with that, but
because I mean, you're the guy.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah.
guy that could buy that deal, get a little dribble off of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the bar and tell Cody. You know what I mean?
I'm an investor now.
I'm a
Yeah.
fucking real estate investor, bro. I got
Yeah,
rentals,
I
and they'll be
know.
like, "Where's it at?" And be like, "Trinity, Texas." Be like, "Where the hell's that?" Fuck
Oh,
it,
I
let's
know
Google it. Let's all
Trinity,
find
Texas.
out.
if you were an
together.
investor, you'd know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that seriously is, and that's how our messaging is going to change. We're going to be going into the marketplace saying, "Hey, look, go get some vitamin E." The market turns around, or one of them goes vacant. You know what I mean? Hell, we just sold one in that same neighborhood for 120. That's not saying that all of them can do that, because there's other ones that have only sold for 30. You get what I mean?
Right.
So there's something there, but you could always owner finance that one. One falls off, just owner finance it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it no more. Owner finance it. Another one goes vacant. I don't want to deal with it no more. Owner finance it.
Yeah.
You can always change the game.
How does that work? How does that work? Owner financing when you have a loan on it. When you refinance it, how are you?
Yeah, the state law.
shit, I can't
If you're closing on a wrap, state law says you can do 3
Three what? 3 owner
a year,
finance.
3 within a 12-month period.
Okay.
So you couldn't do them all in a 12-month
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
But you could do 3 of them in a 12-month period if you're doing on a wrap mortgage.
Is it, sorry to get in the weeds, but is it rolling 12 months or is it
Rolling
like
12 months.
Okay, yeah.
So, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, if you didn't want to do a wrap, there's other mechanisms where you could cross collateralize it. Most small community banks understand that transaction intimately.
Yeah. What is that? I mean, help me out. Is that like
So-
wrap or
No.
like with a car, like kind of it's a car loan
No,
type
they
thing?
take
or-
they take a loan, right? So you got a loan on the property for all 4, okay? And you say, I want to go owner finance this one, so I'm gonna need you to file a lien release for that particular real estate. So they're gonna file a lien release,
Okay.
and then they're gonna put, I mean, it's another document. We've done a lot of the documents, but I don't know what it's called.
It's cross collateralization.
I mean, that's all
Release.
it is.
It's a release of.
All it does is it takes now.
I've got one over there. It just says release of collateral.
Yeah. So all it is now, instead of the real estate being the collateral for the loan, the note and deed of trust that you just originated is now the collateral for the loan. So if you don't pay the loan, they take that note and deed of trust. They go to that servicer that you set up, and they say, hey, look, this is our collateral now. You start paying us.
Right.
And that's it. The buyer never even knows.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just keep making their monthly payment, and now it's going to the bank instead of coming to you.
So that's a way to do it with all 4 of them. You're saying with
Yeah.
you can only do it with 3, but if you cross collateralize, then you could do it with
Then you can
nearly
do
as many as you want. Yeah.
And so, it's and the reason why you don't want to be doing wraps, and you need to talk to an attorney, this ain't legal advice and all that bullshit. But the reason why you don't want to be doing wraps is because in the new law, it puts the governance, it takes it out of Texas property code and puts it in the Texas finance code. And once it goes in the Texas finance code, it becomes fiduciary, criminal, all these extra things that could not come to fruition.
Right.
But you and I both know as soon as one person figures out how to game that, they're going to game it. So they figure out you sold them a property on a wrap, and they figure out that it could have criminal elements, and it did make you a fiduciary to them. Now they go and they say, oh, look, I'm a victim.
Yeah.
They didn't do this transaction correctly. Here's how state law says they have to do it. And believe me, you don't want that because it opens you up to all this extra nonsense where if you don't do it that way, Texas Finance Code has no say over it. You know what I mean? There's no comptroller or somebody going to show up at your door, trying to investigate. So look, you don't have any jurisdiction over my life.
Right.
Other human that just showed up. You know what I mean? Like all of my stuff's governed by Texas property code, and it's a civil matter. And you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be a part of your investigation until y'all prove that I intended to harm someone.
Right.
Where the Texas Finance Code say you intended to harm them just by doing the transaction that way because you didn't do the specific thing perfectly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which, like in Spoonie's case, you just sold a house under finance, right? Mm-hmm. Are you an RMLO?
No.
Did we utilize RMLO?
Yes.
So we have an RMLO that we utilize. Texas Property Code or the Texas Finance Code now says in order to own or finance a house like that and do a wrap mortgage, you have to be an RMLO. So Spoonie would have to be the RMLO. He utilized one, you know what I mean? But that's not what Texas Finance Code says. It says you have to be one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's one violation. You get what I mean? Like silly thing, but doing 3 a year, you fall no jurisdiction. But that's just if you don't like owning a rental.
Right.
Owning rentals, I mean, we own a bunch of them. I got a lot of updates and stuff on my phone all the time. They're not bad. They're gonna save our ass through this because we're going to be able to work on them. We're going to be able to buy groceries off the cash flow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're going to cover the overhead of the office. I mean, I just can't tell you enough how fortunate we are that we have that cash flow off of those rentals.
Right.
Getting all this stuff refinanced and leased up could prove challenging. It could, there's some stuff in there, but even if we have to leave it on private capital, we'll just swap it over to more long-term private capital and let it roll a little longer. But that's the risk. You're flipping houses and you don't want to be a landlord. You might need to find a new career.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got anything else, John? We've chopped it up. Spoonie didn't join us for 10 minutes.
I'm just glad I could be here.
Man, I'm glad you came in too. I'm glad to chat it up before.
We didn't do a different generations episode this time, but that's okay. They're talking about putting it on its own YouTube channel, and that makes me sad. So I don't
think that makes sense.
Yeah, but it makes me sad. Sadness. Teardrop.
If anybody doesn't know, Corey's one of the most emotional people I've ever met.
I'm just high strung.
He will cry in his car after this for hours.
I'm just high strung.
What's the podcast name?
Wound Tight.
No, it's called Different Generations. This one will probably just be. I guess it'll be Different Generations. May as well.
Wound Tight better.
Yeah.
We talk
Different Generations.
Yeah, Different Generations podcast. Kind of a thing we did.
The DG.
Yeah, like to talk about the whininess of his generation, how Spoon got rich and became a liberal. You know what I mean? He used to be conservative.
So he assumed I was a city guy.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I assumed that, whatever.
Yeah, he once he got a little money, you know what I mean? Once he got money, then he was like, you know what? I got a more refined taste.
In corporate America.
Yeah. I got a more refined taste than these hillbillies I grew up with.
I just hope we can keep our census, man. I don't care who anybody voted for. But God bless, it drives me crazy how crazy everybody is about this stuff, man.
I'm not crazy about it.
I'm not saying you're crazy about it. I'm just saying there's a lot of people that are crazy about it.
I
That's what I'm
think-
saying is I don't right, left, I don't give a shit. But my gosh, man.
Right when I thought they were gonna get me out, they keep dragging me back in.
I know, man. I don't even need to
What?
say anything about it.
What do you mean?
I can't remember that quote. We were on the outro of the podcast. He's like, "Look, you know what I don't like about politicians?"
I know, man. Let's go. All right,
So
watch
you got
Different
6 more hours?
Generations podcast on YouTube. Let's go. Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Wrapped it up. Are we
We're wrapping
good?
it up.